What's up, babe, and everybody else, and welcome back to episode 41 of the Founder Academy. This is part 2 of our FUT Champs run. This is actually last week's FUT Champs run, and plus all the stuff from like this past week. So there's going to be a lot. Obviously, we play catch up sometimes. The next video, I promise, will be live. We'll do like a club tour. I think a club tour would be actually kind of fun to do and show you guys kind of my takes on all these players and why I built them the way I do, and I'll show you guys my tactics and all that stuff. Before we get into all of that stuff, guys, if you could hit a like down below on the video, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, greatly appreciated. And for all you guys returning, welcome back. You guys have been killing it with all the comments and questions and writing down below and everything like that. So I appreciate all the engagement, guys. It means the world to me, helps the channel grow a lot. So thank you guys in advance from the bottom of my heart, and hopefully that continues, that we continue the momentum into July here. So yeah, what you guys are seeing here, you saw at the very start, we changed up the team a little bit. We picked up that Giorgio Chiellini. He just gives us a little bit more flexibility. We had Dybala on the team, but we had Cuadrado as the right back, and I don't really love Cuadrado. We'll leave that for like our review of the team in the next video, but like he's just a little too weak. He offers a lot going forward. I know guys like Gorilla and stuff love him for obvious reasons, right? He's 5-star skill and all that stuff, but I don't need that. I need him to be defensive, and he just wasn't very good defensively. He just let a lot of guys past him, and you know, when the game's already broken, it's already screwed up with all this garbage that's going on in the game. Like the last thing you need is a guy who's poor defensively being a wingback. So I'd rather go back to Cafu. So the timing was really perfect for them to release a end-of-era Chiellini. You guys, again, will see kind of my review on him in the future, but short version of it is I wasn't super impressed with him. He was okay, but he wasn't great. This first opponent we came up against, we're at 6-4. Game was just broken. A bunch of games I was like sitting there ranting and raving in the last video. We came up against this guy. He was just a really good opponent. You know, at 6-4, the team has had a couple losses. So it continues into these games, right? Like there were some real tough games that we came up against. But the game was just like hit and miss. Like sometimes you go into them and they were just broken. Other games you come in and like they were just playing like heroes. At this stage in FIFA, you start taking in so many losses at this, or sorry, not this stage in FIFA, this stage in FUT Champs, you start taking so many losses that your team is like getting just like morale. It's just yo-yoing up and down because you're winning and losing and winning and losing. And to get them back in a playable state is just like horrifying. So we're down 2-0 to this guy. He was just a really good player, and I don't want to say luck came into play because, like, look, tactically we played this really well. We kind of went into that ultra attacking late in the game and put him under a lot of pressure. We ended up clawing back and pulling it back to 2-2 when we were down 2-0. But unfortunately, he scores a nice goal with his red Berardi there, and he goes up 3-2. I think we end up scoring another goal here late. Nice little turn there from Messi. I think he was expecting me to cut back in. The players were so fatigued at this point. He was just like waiting for that cutback, so I just went straight, just mixed it up a little bit, and we end up catching him off guard, and then he ends up scoring a late goal here. Ball just bounces down to him. Look, that game can go either way. Tavernier. Right, this Tavernier card, not a fantastic card, but he's actually like a really good CDM. When I say not a fantastic card, I mean in the sense that he's really hard to like link, right? Like you're not going to probably find too many other cards, if any at all, from the Scottish Premier League that are usable. So you're going to have to bring him on as a sub or just have him like jammed in there with like English players and icons and stuff like that. But a cool card. We've done that in the past where we have those guys as holding mids. This guy was definitely a really good player. Look, it's Infinite, I guess is his name, so credit to him. Really frustrating because, like, look, I think I could have gotten a result out of that, but it was just one of those games. It was just back and forth, and he took his chance, right? It got a little lucky, it fell to him, and next thing you know, he buries it, and he wins 3-2. Those games are so disheartening because they just, like, they take so much out of you, right? You guys know what it's like going into like FUT Champs and you're playing in a really sweaty game and you're just concentrating so much that you almost get like a headache, and next thing you know the guy ends up scoring some like, you know, I don't want to say fluky goal, but it was kind of a fluky goal. He just kind of whips in across, ball bounces down to him. All the sliders defensively have dropped, so they're just trying to get someone to score a goal. And you know, just came out on the losing end of a coin flip, for lack of a better term, right? So credit to him. He was a good player. He was very difficult to play against, and he caused me a lot of problems, but it was a fun game to play. This next game, this guy, I thought he was going to be a lot better. This guy's team looked like he was just getting handicapped massively, right? Like, as you guys can see, he looks like he can't control his players at all. He's just pulling them out of position. They're doing extra animations. You could tell he's already annoyed. He's just frustrated with this. and he's out, right? 2 goals. This is a perfect example of a guy who's probably taken a couple losses and he's just, you're irritated at the game. I've said this so many times to these guys, like, you know, it's a morale issue and they just don't understand it. They don't want to hear it. They just want to believe, oh, it's gameplay. Gameplay is bad today. But like, look, this dude's going to continue taking losses until he goes out and stops rage quitting or goes out and actually starts beating somebody. He can hope that his elo drops low enough, or he can just, you know, take him offline. But, you know, that's a perfect example of a team that was just getting handicapped. He just couldn't control it, and it was easy 2 goals, and he rage quits. This game, this is the definition of getting out teamed. So, not even going to comment on how, if the guy's good or bad. I know what people are thinking, oh, I'm just going to make up an excuse or whatever for losing or whatever. This guy's team was just so good that regardless of how good or how not good he is, like, I wasn't going to win this game. He was just he just had such a crazy team. Which you guys will see, right? Nice little play here. This is a well-worked goal. Nice little give and go. I end up getting baited on the defense. Normally, I should be a lot better than that, but I was calling that second man, trying to collapse him before he could get the ball through. Nice little slip, and he ends up scoring 1 with that team of the season, Ronaldo. But we claw back in the game, right? This guy wasn't fantastic defensively. He was okay offensively, but like, look, this is just a well-worked goal. He brought out the keeper. We bait him with the keeper, and then a nice little finish by Messi. Just wait him out, turn him around, go inside, square up to the goal, and pass it into the net, essentially. So we're at 1-1. And then we bait him again. Nice little turn there from Mbappe, a little slip move to Messi, a little lucky on the shot, got, you know, just the double tap, the ball's bouncing, but he just fires it. Messi's fantastic. He's one of the best shooters in the game. And we're up 2-1. And then the guy just does this. Literally, this is just his team. And again, I'm not taking anything away from him. He still has to score that goal, but that's just like Pele. Like, I could not body Pele. He was just so fast and he was so strong, and I just couldn't get close to him. He literally just ran. It was faster than any of my defenders could turn, and he just plays it right across. Easy goal for Ronaldo, and Ronaldo's got his second. Then we, another well-worked goal here, pass inside, Messi. Again, I'm saying well-worked goal because these are my goals. Like, look, I take it for what it is. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's still scoring his goals, but like, look, consider the source, right? I'm the guy playing. So this was the goal that was really infuriating to me. Like, I was reading that pass. I knew that was coming, and I was moving back with Marquinhos. But when he plays that ball into Marquinhos, you guys will see it. We'll go back and watch it after. I think I look at the highlights at the end of the game. But Marquinhos gets twisted. As I'm tracking back, as soon as that ball gets played, he does this. And he gets caught in an animation where he's spinning. And it's just, as soon as you see that stuff, you just go, I'm dead. And then Chiellini, as I kind of mentioned earlier, just very frustrating. He didn't even put a foot in. Look at this. If you guys ever want to see like a team getting out-teamed, this is that, right? Like, this guy's obviously celebrating. Like, he's so happy with himself for scoring his bicycle kick. But a pass inside should have been intercepted by Tchouaméni. It drops right into the middle of the field, right? He doesn't intercept it. It literally just bounces off my guy, slows it down. He just one time hits it off balance right into Chiellini, and it bounces off to him. And while he's off balance, he turns and spins and hits a bicycle kick in one animation. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude to this guy, but that is not a skill thing. That's just like literally the game. Like, it's just forcing a goal to the game. That's why people think scripting exists, right? It's not scripting in the sense that it's forcing a goal to that guy. It's DDA because his sliders are so far up that it's like you can't stop it. It just will like, it'll magnet ball back to him over and over and over until it forces a goal, right? So we're tied with this guy at 4, and then he ends up scoring that. Pass inside, again, another frustrating thing because Chiellini, I read it, and I went to go intercept it. He doesn't even put a foot. He literally just runs past the ball, and next thing you know, the guy's up, you know, or the guy, what was I going to say? He goes up 5-4. So we, again, tie it at 5-5. Another opportunity, the ball bounces in, all these magnet balls, pass inside, easy goal for him, right? Didn't really have to do too much, just pass inside. Nice finish, right? He played the smart play. He didn't hit it one time. He passes it inside to Ronaldo, turns, and Ronaldo finishes. I don't know why so many people have like that prime Ronaldo. I have no pack luck at all with icons, but, you know, what do I know? Everyone seems to have R9 Ronaldo's prime. So anyway, very frustrating, right? And then at this point, right, my team is just falling apart. I can't even get anything going. So we get one last chance, and this is where this is very frustrating, right? I got one last chance. The guy runs back to the byline. Look at Alaba. Leaves Alaba wide open. Alaba takes the heaviest touch in the world and then just shoots it right into the wall. Like, literally, the touch was so heavy, it went right in Basically, he ran it right into the front of the wall. I want a quick touch, turn, and shoot. I get it. Alaba's a center back. He's not going to have the best shooting in the world, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. But like that could have been that was the difference, right? That would have tied the game, and we probably would have went into extra time. But instead, my team just falls apart at this stage. I can't even get out of my own end. It was just magnet balling right back to this guy, and next thing you know, it's 7-5, right? So look, not a bad player, but this was just his team, right? This was just getting out-teamed. It was just the definition of getting out-teamed. Like the goals that he was scoring was because his players were that much faster, that much stronger, that much more skilled. That Ronaldo goal was absolute. Well, both of the Ronaldo goals were very infuriating to me. I'm not taking anything away from any of the other ones he scored. That last one, I don't even rate it just because it's like, look, the game was just broken at that stage. But like, look at that. Tchouaméni should have intercepted it. He shoots it right into Chiellini. Chiellini just bounces off of Chiellini and it goes right back to him. And one animation, shot, turn, bike. Like, look at how idiotic that is, right? That is why people break controls, because this game is so fucked up. Like, that is ridiculous, right? But this is the one that was really infuriating to me because I was reading that pass and I was literally in the way. And not only does he not stick out a foot, he gets turned. He does one of those stupid animations where they spin around like a top. And next thing you know, he runs through with Ronaldo and scores. And like, look, guys, I apologize. I know it's sour grapes, but that's really frustrating, right? I don't know how people go 20-0. I really don't. Because the game is just so broken. It's like, as soon as you take one loss in FUT Champs, your team it turns into a yo-yo of morale. You win, you lose, you win, you lose, and your team, you just can't get them back to a playable state. You have to play about 100 games to get them back into a playable state. It is so infuriating to play this. This is why I don't play FUT Champs very often, right? I was just giving myself a chance this weekend because I was like, there's nothing else to do in the game, right? I don't really want to play Rivals because I don't think Rivals is very fun. And there's no other game modes, right? Like, I don't think Friendlies is really entertaining at all because guys just quit after 1-0. All they want to do is get their cross or get their goal, or as soon as the game kicks off, they just run all their players out to give you a free goal. Like, I'm thinking this is not really fun. This is just people trying to accomplish an objective. So there isn't really anything else to play. Right? So, anyway, we come up against this guy. We're at 1-1 against him. I think we ended up beating this guy. This was just a really tight game, right? This guy was a good defensive player. This wasn't a super exciting game. But these games happen, right? We're at 7-6. I'm thinking that this game is actually going to, for the first time, I'm not going to hit 11 wins because this guy ties it up at 2. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if we go 10-10, I'm going to lose it, right? I just need 11 wins. I don't really care. I've gotten 11 wins consistently, like, throughout the last couple weekend leagues, right? It just seems to be like clockwork, right? It's like 11-7, 11-8. It's just every week. It's because you, like, win your first couple, and then you get into, like, rat hell, and you lose a bunch, and then you're, like, 5-4, and then you just go win-loss, win-loss, win-loss until you're 11-7. Or the opposite. Or you lose a bunch of games right out the bat, and then your elo drops so much, you kill a bunch of terrible players, and then you're at 4-5, and then you go win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, and next thing you know, you're at 11-9 or whatever, right? It's just, it's crazy to me, right? Like, you have to be such a good player to go like 20-0. It's absolutely mind-numbing. Anyway, yeah, so we're at 4-3 against this guy. This was just like a really fun game, right? This was just one of those back and forth games. This guy might have a different opinion of how this game went. The last game I'm so rattled about, like, it was just so frustrating losing. But like, at the end of the day, look, if the guy is buying a team, I'd rather lose to a team that at least the guy paid for or like worked his way to get, right? I'd rather lose to a team like that than lose to like this garbage nonsense bullshit, like when the game just breaks and you just lose from a handicap game, right? Your team just falls apart. I'd rather get out-teamed than out-FIFA'd, if that makes any sense. Anyway, so we win this game 6-3. We bring it back to 8-6. Mario, man, 200. Better opponent than that scoreline says, right? He was actually a decent little opponent. I apologize, guys. It is so hot here. We've got like a heat wave here in Vancouver, so it is crazy because like I'm sitting there thinking about like sweat coming down off my forehead and stuff like that. And then so anyway, we're 8-6, and then we end up coming up against this guy. This dude, the Dusan Vlahovic. It was actually a really good card. This guy caused me a lot of problems with that Vlahovic. He had some interesting reds, right? Nothing too crazy. Like Heung-min Son, I have no interest in. But yeah, some interesting reds. Better reds than I got. I'm just getting like Salibas left and right and all this excuse me, all this garbage that like nobody in their right mind would want. And then this happens at the start of this game. This is why Chiellini was very frustrating to me. I think he's overrated. I hear people talking about how he's the best center back in the game. I didn't even hit tackle there. I literally was just running to collect the ball and get there before he did. And just like the two players just run into each other, one falls over, and next thing you know, he's got a penalty and we're down 1-0. This is the type of stuff that's infuriating with this game because that is not user error. I didn't do anything. I literally just ran towards the ball, but because his player gets there first or whatever, or slightly quicker, the player models run into each other. If I hit tackle, I get it. But I didn't hit tackle. I literally am just running towards the ball, and it just like knocks the guy over. So like that type of stuff is the stuff that EA really have to figure out because it's so frustrating. You are not doing anything, so why should you be punished for not doing something? Right? I don't care that it's an animation. The computer shouldn't be making those animations for you, right? It shouldn't be knocking a player down. It shouldn't be random whether a penalty gets given. It should be because of a user error. Anyway, we're down 2-1 at this point. Guy scores a late goal. My Alaba just, they were just swinging wildly. It was so late in the game that all the defensive sliders had dropped. And then this was very, very infuriating because there was twice in that sequence there where I actually wanted passes to different players and it found opposite guys. So I'm having to adjust the way I'm reacting, right? I wanted to pass inside to Messi. I wanted to cut and then play it out wide to Dybala. Instead, it goes straight to Dybala. So I have to panic and cycle it back. And because when I cycle back, it goes straight to his player and he ends up turning it over and it ruins the whole flow of it. So it's very frustrating because that 2-1 game, very tight. And next thing you know, like it's through the floor and you can't even do anything about it, right? It's just literally infuriating because like it's such a close game. It shouldn't be determined by the game breaking like that, right? But there's so many custom tactics and things going on because this game is it's programmed so horribly that it can't handle it can't process all the custom tactics and all the things that you've got going on. So the game is just broken. This game, this is the definition of two teams getting handicapped. Literally both of our teams were. So you'll see it. As you can see, my defense is just like splitting apart wildly. I can't stop anything. This guy ends up scoring a very easy goal. This guy's team, like defensively, you can tell like they're not doing anything really heroic. They're not stopping anything. I just go flying past and then a shot. I wanted my Messi to go running on, but Messi stutters and he doesn't go for the rebound. Another play where this guy literally just walks up the field, very easy. I can't stop it, can't do anything, but his player just plays a really long ball. Like the game is just broken at this stage, right? Like watch how easy it is for this guy to just walk up the field. Just single pass. Look at them part. Right? They spread apart. That happens when your team is getting handicapped. Magnet balls right back to him, pass inside, shot right against the keeper. If this, and I'm not trying to be rude to this guy, but this guy was a better player, he would have beat me, right? Because my team was getting handicapped so bad. If he would have just like taken that touch, turned, and played it far post, he would have scored, or just taken it and hammered it near post. Instead, he one time shot it, right? So we're at 1-1. He gets handicapped there, right? His defense actually, he read it and my Messi warps through him. Next thing you know, it's 2-1. So this guy had a couple chances to go ahead, but instead, because he wasn't good enough, for lack of a better term, he didn't know how to take advantage of it. And next thing you know, we end up scoring 2-3 goals and we're in front, right? So as you guys can see, like, look, there's no awareness defensively. Like the players are just missing things. They're sliding, they're doing extra animations, they're skating. Another chance where he should have just walked in, fired it across, tramped it, and just one-timed it into the net, he would have been tied 2-2. But instead, a big mistake. Look at his defense, swinging wildly, displacing, right? Look at them. He can't control his players. 3-1, right? This is the difference, right? And I'm not trying to praise myself here, but because I was a better player than this guy, I knew how to take advantage of his defense, him not being able to control his defense. He was getting so frustrated, as you guys can see here. Like, look at his players. He's trying to slide tackle. He can't even get close to him. I was just doing that at the end, just trying to get this guy to rage quit, and he does. He rage quits in the 77th minute, right? My team was playing so horribly. If I was playing a really, really good player, or even a higher rated player, he would have taken advantage of that, and I could have easily lost that game. But those were two teams that were getting handicapped really badly because of their morale. I just knew how to take advantage of it. This guy probably didn't know what was happening. He was just frustrated. He's like, oh, bad gameplay today. And he got frustrated and he rage quit. Right? But that's the type of stuff, guys, that I'm telling you guys, you have to pay attention to that, right? You have to, because that team right there should have beaten, not these guys, but like previously, that team should have beaten me. He had 2 or 3 chances. He could have been up 3-1. I would have been dead in the water. I wouldn't have been able to get back into it. But because he squandered them, because he didn't know how to play the meta of the game, he wasted those chances, and then he gave me chances to take advantage of his broken defense, and we end up winning 3-1, and he rage quits, right? You don't have enough games to like make those types of mistakes in FUT Champs. Every win is so important, which is why this game's so infuriating. It's so broken, but you have to win every single game because like those make the difference between you getting prizes in this game, right? So anyway, we're up. We end up beating that guy, ends up rage quitting, and then we come up against this guy. I think this guy rage quit too. Like he just couldn't control his team, right? Like we're up 3-0. I think it ends up being 4-0 at this point. Oh, I was offside or whatever, but this guy got so frustrated. Again, another guy he couldn't control his players, probably taking a bunch of L's. Next thing you know, we're up 3-0, and he just ends up rage quitting because he felt which way the wind was blowing in that game. So apologies to Elio there, but like, look, you got to do what you got to do. But that's why this game mode is so screwed up, right? It's so awful to play. It's terrible. Anyway, this is the last game, right? 10-7. We just need one more win. Classic weekend league result for us, just 11 wins. Normally, I just want to get to 11 wins anyway. Like, I don't really need to get like 14. I don't think it's worth the extra like brain cell depletion to like get those extra 3 wins. But like, even if we wanted to, I don't think our record was high enough that we could have done it. But yeah, we're at 10-7. We just need one more win. And then this guy does this. Just runs through my defense, shoots it straight into them, and then bikes it from the top of the box, and it goes through about 4 guys and scores. Just nonsense, right? Like nonsense. Just completely idiotic. And then this guy was so aggressive with his players defensively. I knew that he was just coming at me. Like he was just going to come rushing in every time. So I took a page out of the computer's book, and I literally, as soon as I saw him come flying at me, I just turned my back to him, and he slid tackled through me, gets his Van Dijk given a red. And on the ensuing free kick, we just lay it off to Dybala. Next thing you know, we're at 1-1. Then we come into the game late. He's panicking. He's just trying to hold on. He actually wasn't too bad a player. Really, we're just putting the press on, right? Offensively, our team was we were putting him under a lot of pressure. He was panicking. He was so flustered after that red card. And he probably could have gotten back into the game, but when we went up 2-1, he was just like, he couldn't handle the pressure, and he was just trying to do desperate stuff, running down the wing like that. I just went for that slide tackle, and of course, it doesn't even register the slide tackle. He just does one of those hook tackles that bounces off and goes out of bounds, and the guy just got frustrated and rage quit. So we get our 11th win, right? Very unsatisfying way to end. Very unsatisfying round of FUT Champs, period. And I'm not trying to sound like the negative Nancy that I can be at times, but like it's just, this was not a fun experience. This was a really, really awful experience. But as I mentioned earlier, there's just nothing else to do, right? There's nothing else to play. And I'm like, maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe I can just get 1 red that's okay. We let FUT Babe actually open the rewards because I'm thinking maybe her luck's better than mine. And of course, this is what we get. We already have Allison untradeable, so I don't need Allison red. Frimpong I have absolutely no interest in. And Diego Jota we don't need, right? Even on my second, like I don't want to call him a backup team, but my EPL team is so jacked up, he doesn't even have a place to go into it. The only reason I'd put him in is because he's a red, right? But I've got like Phil Foden, I've got Ronaldo, I've got Lacazette up top, I'm trying to think of who else is in that team. Like the whole midfield and the attack is already spoken for, so Diego Jota doesn't even make my backup team, right? So these are the rewards that we're getting in June, right? And then we get this, Saliba, who we hardly have any reds, and we get Saliba again, another red. Terrier, who we've put into 2 SBCs, and Lafont that we've already packed twice, and so we have him untradeable. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just take Lafont because I just despise Terrier. Terrier the Terrible. He's the worst card I've used so far this FIFA. Like, he's just absolutely unusable. Anybody that says he's good, I just go, man, you are obviously playing a different game than I am because he is god-awful. He just is, like, so stiff and he can't finish a single thing. He's deceptively slow for a guy who looks like he's super quick. But yeah, just not worth the rewards, right? Not worth the mental anguish and the strain. We got nothing else in the other packs. Just, I don't even think we got anything higher than 84. So if you tell me that is worth my weekend, absolutely not. The amount of time and effort that you have to put into even getting 11 wins at this stage in FIFA, absolutely criminal that they can give somebody that. That is ridiculous. I did do the daily logins. I give EA credit for that. The logins were fun. It's just nice and easy. Submit like some silver teams, and we end up getting in our first TOTS pack the Kim Min Jae or whatever his name is. Look, he's just going to be fodder. We're going to put him into an SBC, which we did. We ended up putting into the one to get the 85 plus, and again, more crime by EA. Prosecute them because this is absolutely criminal. Like 4 golds, not even one special card. The highest being an 84 rated. In an untradeable pack that I think this was the Amazon Prime pack, which I didn't even realize had all these packs, but like I have Prime just for like stuff around the house. And I didn't realize until I saw Nepentha's tweet that there was an Amazon Prime pack out. So we ended up getting, we opened up the Prime pack and we got Everton. So this was Shapeshifter 1. I have no interest in him, but he is a high rated fodder. He's going to go into some of these SBC coin sinks that EA, more crime by them. Tadic, and then a couple other cards that were actually decent little return on investment here for like considering it's free. The ROI is really high. A player pick. I don't know why anyone would need a lone icon at this stage, especially one of this garbage. Like these guys are all basically discardable icons. It shows you my icon luck, right? I can't even get a prime icon that's alone that's any good, right? Those are all garbage. Those are very reflective of my icon pack luck. And then we get Verratti. So a decent little untradeable pack from Amazon Prime there. So thank you to them. But again, EA just being really thrifty, right? Like this is June. They could have put an entire team of the season pack out and probably wouldn't even still have been like anything to cause issues with EA's transfer market. But they don't. They're super cheap and they're greedy, right? So they're not going to give you anything for free. And if they do give you stuff for free, it's basically garbage. We did this SBC, which was, again, more crime, right? Didn't get anything good. Antonio, I don't even want to see. Dorsch, I considered because we have a Bundesliga team, but I have so many midfielders. I need every other position except for center back and midfield. And, of course, we get a midfielder. So I took the Nacho Fernandez because he is going to be decent fodder. But I was thinking I might be able to use him for my La Liga team that I'm building. The La Liga team doesn't have a center back, and I knew that Delaney was coming out. We ended up doing the Delaney actually today. Spoiler alert. So we ended up doing the Delaney today because I don't really have much interest in Nacho Fernandez, and I knew that I was going to probably end up putting him to an SBC, which we did. We just ended up dumping him into an SBC right away. We didn't even use him for a single game, which we did this 1 of 4 93 plus tots, and of course we get absolutely nothing. Oscar, I have no interest in because he's from the Chinese League. Ruben Diaz, we have already untradeable. Tavernier, I was contemplating, but I was like, look, he's going to be too hard to link, and I don't need another super sub. I have a ton of super subs. I just don't need any more. So we ended up taking Berardi because Berardi is the highest rated, and look, even though he's not going to, our Serie A team is narrow. We play a 4-2-3-1 narrow. He's not going to fit into our team. He's just 96 rated, so he'll be good for SBC because EA is just putting all these coin sync SBCs out. And look, I get sucked into them just like every other bozo in the world, right? So like we end up doing these things because we're suckers, guys, and EA give us nothing in return. And at the very least, I can get a Berardi from them and for the next one, right? So it's just cycling and mulching through the same stuff. I'm getting sucked into the cycle just like they want me to, right? This Tavernier is actually a decent little card, but you have to surround him with icons and English Premier League players because there's just nobody from the Scottish Premier League that's going to be linkable, or that's any good anyway. So I contemplated that long and hard and didn't end up getting anything. So we put him into an SBC, as you guys can see there. I think we ended up doing the 93 plus again because they released it a couple days later. The 88 and the 86, we dumped a ton of like high rated fodder into that. So we actually rinsed through quite a bit of fodder. We don't have a whole lot left. And we get this second pack, which I'm hoping we'll get something. Are we going to get anything good? Absolutely not. Why would we, right? Manuel Neuer. Don't really need him. He would be okay, but I'd rather take Vlahovic. Mukhtar we contemplated, but I was like, I don't really know if I want Mukhtar more than Vlahovic. That Vlahovic, maybe it's just because that guy tore me apart with that. Allison I didn't even look at because we already have him untradeable. But that Vlahovic, I was just like, you know what? Even though we have enough cards for the Serie A, I wanted to give him a try. And he's actually a beast. We use him in some offline games doing the Delaney SBC, and he is a beast. And then later this week, actually this was yesterday, they released Shapeshifters Team 2, and during like the first hour, just randomly in some daily login SBC or some like tradable SBC that I did, where it was like a rare mixed pack. We ended up getting Corona. So Corona was going for 340. I think it's the best card we packed in ages. He's going for 340. Obviously, we're going to trade him, or we're going to sell him right away. I have no interest in keeping him. He was going for 340, and glad we sold him because he dropped to 260 almost immediately. So we would have lost 80K in about an hour. So we sold him 320. So we would have lost about 60K. But we used the proceeds to get Chumeni, and we got a little bit of change left over for some jingle in our jeans, which we will use in the next video. So that is going to be the end of today's episode, guys. I appreciate you sticking with me at the very end. Until next time, take care. Peace.